There's a lot of classes in this game. I mean jobs. I mean classes. Whatever, they're the same exact thing. There's a bunch of unique and different types of jobs in this game. Just for starters, the ones that I have unlocked, I have the Bard, which is the battle DJ with a bow and arrow and sings songs so everyone kills everything. Dude with the flamethrower, Gauss rifles, and guns, dude. Edgy as hell with his weeb stick katana going wasabi all over people. We have the edgiest of boys with his giant great sword, and he calls upon the void for damages. We even have someone who's invested in the heart of the cards to heal up the group and also tell you your zodiac sign for the day. If you just press the C button on your keyboard or whatever class button on the PS4, you guys can definitely see that there's 4 tanks, 3 healers, a bajillion DPSs, and as you play through the game, you guys will see that each of them is unique in their own way, and they bring something to the fight, to the raid, whatever group they're a part of. Square Enix has done a fantastic job at balancing, redesigning, and designing all of these classes to feel and look completely different, but still be viable in all endgame activities. As you can see, I am still on Stormblood story quest, but I've been sinking my time into leveling up Samurai because I need to do the Moogle event farm and just doing main scenario roulette over and over again just to level up Samurai. Now, it's kind of addicting learning all the abilities and stuff, dude. Like, it's real addicting. So the purpose of today's video, I want to give you guys the best ways, and if not the most efficient ways, to level up alternative jobs, both in the early game and in the later game, like 50, 60, 70, and 80. So you don't go completely crazy listening to Laha Bras, Gaius's, the Ultima weapon, the monologues over and over and over again. And it gives you guys just a bit more variety, and it helps you explore the game just a bit more. Without further ado, I'm gonna feed you guys this addiction and help you guys neglect the main story quest even more by leveling up some alts. All right, going right into the list, and there's 4 ways that I'm gonna list at the beginning, and it's the obvious ways to level an alt job that everyone probably has figured out. It's quite tedious, and it's no variety or anything. Obvious way number 1 is to buy a boost for $25 US. Now, I don't know how much it is in other countries and currency and everything, but $25 US is equivalent to maybe $30, $35 Australian where I'm from. That's steep. That's a lot. However, it does save you a ton of time because the boost takes you all the way to level 80, and I'm pretty sure you get a bunch of gear as well to get you geared to the current patch and everything. Now keep in mind, it's $25 US per class that you have. It's not everything. It's not just one, you buy one. You have to go specifically into the Mog Station, go to the additional services and click on the class that you want to boost. Now, so I want to let you know that it is not a story boost. Just because you have a level 80 class doesn't mean that you got free reign to go and skip through all of the entire story. But I highly discourage this because once you get your rotations and the way your class plays and everything, everyone can tell in any instance ever which people have bought a class or which ones have actually leveled because you know your rotation well, you know your limitations, you know your weaknesses. So this is a way to buy it if you're a giant whale, just to spend your money, but I highly discourage it. Another obvious way that everyone probably understands is the daily duty roulettes that you unlock very early into the game. You press the U tab or the duty finder, and there's the little question mark stuff, and it's duty roulettes. And there's a bunch of duty roulettes as you progress into the game, but the ones that I found the most worth my time is the Alliance raid roulette, especially DPS classes, because that's the only roulette that says adventure in need DPS, because you need a lot of them. The main scenario, unfortunately, yes, listening to Laha Bara and Gaius and whatever the fuck, the monologue for 5 minutes straight, or unskippable cutscenes, it is one of the best leveling tactics in this game, and that's what most people do, and it drives them insane. And obviously the leveling one. The leveling one is nice, especially if you want to level tanks or healers, because those are adventures in need. The duty roulettes always sync to your level, so like in a sense that like it's scaled to whatever XP that you are in your current level. Like if you do like a level 16 dungeon, but you're level 70, you'll still get a scaled percentage based amount of XP to go ahead and go towards your level and stuff like that. Another way is the deep dungeons, Heaven on High for Heavensward and Palace of the Dead. If you actually do a really quick Google search and you just Google best ways to level a job, these 2 instances will definitely come up saying do these, spam these floor by floor. I'm gonna be real with you. I've only done Palace of the Dead, and yes, it does give a good amount of XP, but it's severely, like almost, I feel like it caps out after like 60, 65 or something like that. But if you don't have a good group or a good run into Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High, then you won't get as much experience, and plus it's brain dead. Your sanity levels will dip because of you're just constantly grinding this and the main scenario quest, just because of the sheer fact it's autonomous and it's not very engaging. It's very easy to zone out. These deep dungeons are probably the most common advice that you'll see how to level stuff. It is a viable way, but there are more fun and granted arguably better ways to do it. The last obvious way is to spam your highest level dungeon at the current level that you're at. If I'm a machinist, for example, my level's 35, I do the dungeon that's closest to that, either one below, like the low whatever dungeon. I think you just queue on directly for that, and you'll get a good amount of XP, plus you'll get some gear leading up to the higher levels and everything. So yeah, those are the obvious ways, real quick, that everyone would probably know what to do for an alternative job. So now I'm gonna get into the not so obvious ways. So these ways for veteran players, are just things you guys have maybe overlooked, forgotten because of how much content there is, the patches and everything. And newer players like myself that just gone through and spammed the MSQ or the duty roulettes have honestly forgotten. And some of these that I just discovered like this past week, and I was like, yo, there's so much experience from this. Anyways, the first one coming up is eat food, be well fed. You don't want to go adventuring and doing all these quests on an empty stomach. I wouldn't, so why would you care to? Anyways, jokes aside, you eat food for a 3% EXP boost. This EXP boost, it can be taken from any food. Some types of food gives different kind of vitality stats or skill speed or whatever, but in my opinion, these numbers are negligible unless you go to the high ranking ones, but you always want the 3% EXP boost. It goes a long way, especially because if you need 1 million EXP your next level, and 3% of that is 30,000. That's free, quick maths. All right, going on to the next way is in the early game, base game jobs such as, you know, Marauder, Gladiator, Lancer, Pugilist, Rogue. The hunting log is the best way to grab experience, do them while you're doing the fates and everything until you're able to get first couple dungeons and the duty roulettes rolling with those classes. Also a really good tip, make sure to do the Grand Company hunting log as well. At least complete the first 2 pages, and the rest of the ways that I'm listing here will help because you'll be able to reach rank of second lieutenant. All right, the next thing is the edgy kind of name, and it's kind of cool. It's called The Hunt. So what these are is that they're giant billboards of hunting monsters that grant you EXP for the hunt itself. And there's also the daily challenges that you can complete, as well as weekly challenges and everything. And it's so expansive to the part that if you want to go super deep into it, there's Discord communities for each crystal or server or whatever that do hunting trains, and they grant you a currency as well, but those are on a later spectrum, you know. For the purpose of leveling alts, yeah, there's daily, weekly challenges that award EXP and stuff. For currency, you can buy a lot of stuff. Just to name some things like materia, some higher level stuff depending on the DLC area, like tier 8, tier 7, stuff like that. Teleport notes that actually waive the fee of the teleportation stuff. You actually don't realize how much money you actually save when you're not spending 800 gil there, 1,000 there, teleporting everywhere. And I need to mention that the reason I said before, make sure you get both pages of the Grand Company hunting log done, because you cannot have access to the hunt unless you're second lieutenant. And if once you have the most time consuming thing to get to that rank is literally just completing that Grand Company hunting log, and I've completely neglected it so much, and please don't make the same mistake that I did. The next thing is called the Grand Company squadrons to run dungeons and everything. So first of all, you need to reach that same rank that I mentioned before, second lieutenant, first officer rank. It's basically AI peoples that are a bit slower than real players. You can't really mass pull with them and everything, but you can skip the queue times for DPS roles, and you can optimize what classes, who's a tank, who's a healer. Later on, once you do a bunch of, you know, missions with them and everything, you can actually send them on little expeditions like you do with your retainers, and they can bring you stuff like EXP boosts that you can use, and random stuff, rare items and everything that they could find on their little adventure things. It's really worth getting into. I didn't realize this. I unlocked it I think the other day, and I didn't realize how intensive it was, and it's kind of cool actually, like commanding, like you inspire people. Side note for this, the way you get more people with the Grand Company squadrons is that you just complete the challenge log. Speaking of the challenge log, that's another way that people don't really know what it's about. Go ahead and click the book thing, you'll see the challenge log, and there's dailies and weeklies to do. And there's all different kind of categories, like there's one for battles, fates, your companion, crafting stuff. You want to level your crafting job. Keep an eye on what the dailies are, what specific way to do. Literally, if you're playing the game, you will complete these challenges and get like an extra 800k, a million XP. Stuff is like giving accommodations out to people in the dungeons, completing the dungeon, or even by doing beast tribe quests and stuff. So make sure you complete these challenges. It's easy XP. Just keep an eye on what it is. And the last one is beast tribes. So you might have noticed, like if you press P, there's a little reputation symbol, or you might have heard these dudes. There's beast tribe dailies that you can do, and you get certain daily allowances. And these beast tribe quests, they're super repeatable, super forgetful, honestly. Like you'll remember the routine and you'll get it down, and they don't take any time to do it all. I usually always complete these when I'm waiting for the duty roulette to pop, or I'm waiting for some mates to get on, and it's just free EXP. The last not so obvious way that I can give you is always always log out when you're in sanctuaries. Not a little chat window that pops up that you're now in a sanctuary. The easiest way to tell you're in a sanctuary is if you try to exit and log out, it doesn't do the countdown timer from 20 seconds. Or you just go in and roleplay and say you're sleeping and getting off. Because the EXP boost, I'm pretty sure it's 100% EXP boost for your next level, or at least half of your next level or something like that. It's either your next level or your next half level. And that obviously helps a lot. Like, why wouldn't you? You're gonna get off the game anyways. Why wouldn't you want to set up your next EXP boost when you're going back in and leveling up more alts and everything? And that brings it to the end of the video, guys. First of all, I want to thank everyone who stuck around in the video to see the full face, full cam mug of mine. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around this long. But yeah, so that's the fastest way that I found when I'm doing a little bit of research, leveling up the Wasagi class, or the Samurai and the Dark Knight, that I found that was still relevant in 2020. And I saw some guys have never mentioned the hunt before, or I think some people also forgot about the Beast Tribe quest and everything. I've been doing the Beast Tribe quest, but I had no idea about the hunt boards and stuff, and I always thought they were kind of cool. I hope I relieved the insanity that is inducing on you guys for grinding the Moogle event and listening to Laha Bra's 5,000 hour monologue each and every time with the unskippable cutscenes. Hopefully this is a new breath of fresh air to leveling up all your classes or leveling up your current class to a level 80. And like I said, all these methods check out in 2020 and in the current patch today. Again, I appreciate you guys so much, and if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for some more Final Fantasy 14 or content in general. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna head on out of here, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.